Okay. Lower bracket quarterfinals. Coming at you here in, just a handful of minutes. We're going to start getting into that map ban phase. Avidity taking on Citrus Nation. Avidity are your Grand Finals champions from Season 2 of Expert Division. Earning their way, free pass here in a Master Division for Season 3. No relegation matches or anything required. And come through with a very strong record. Have a very successful season considering it's their first season here at Master, where like we just saw 0907 take the championship back in Expert after being relegated, after moving up into Master, but not really able to kind of hold their own as well, or at least well enough to hold the spot. Well, Avidity, moving up in their first season here at Master, did plenty to hold their spot, sitting at an 8-3 record their first time here in the hardest division in FACEIT League. And, with minimal changes from the roster, there were some changes from that Season 2 roster. It's not entirely the same roster, but it is the same backline, and that backline has been a shining star, not just on this team, but across NA in general. So, you're going up against, some somewhat seasoned vets here in Citrus Nation. And, we're not in a bad spot. Zeb, kind of known for the Erasa, also has a very mean Junker Queen that I think kind of flies under some people's radar. But, yeah, pretty much will play one of those two. Not pretty much, will play one of those two. So you could, Kuffa is available on this roster as well. We saw Kuffa come in yesterday to try to play, play the Malga, I believe it was. And Nightmare was just having none of that. All picks and bans done here at the top of the series. I love how fast this makes the game. I know I've talked about it before, but once we start getting in the rhythm of things, like it starts going real snappy, and you just go from map to map. You just kind of stay in mode. Don't get a chance to really get cold. I think it's a pretty good system. I totally missed the push ban, by the way. It would have been Citrus Nation's ban. I don't know, probably Coliseo. It's just been all Renaissapia all the time here for Season 3. All right, while they're figuring out lineups and stuff, so we talked about Avidity coming in 8-3. I think it was good enough for third place, and indeed was good enough for third place. Citrus Nation right there with him, though. Both 8-3 teams sitting, tied for third coming into this. Let's see. Do we have a head-to-head that we can look at? Avidity won the head-to-head last time. That was way back in October. Well, it was the very end of October, but that's been 6 weeks now. That was a 3-0, though. It was a 3-0 there for Avidity. Let's see exactly who's going to start. Obviously, we'll get a very good indication of what Citrus Nation wants to run just by the tank player that they put in. Whether we see Kuffa or we see Zep. I don't know what the pick is. If it's Ilios, then I anticipate we see Kuffa, right? Okay, it is Oasis, so we are getting Zeb in. Here, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I like go looking through the bans first before we figure out our map pool. All right, so we need to get the push ban. It is, in fact, Coliseo banned out there from Citrus Nation. And then Throne of Anubis and Hanaoka banned out from Avidity. So we do get both of our Clash maps banned out. And taking a look at that. And the rest of our maps here for today is Oasis Kings. We're going to stop at New Junk City and Watchpoint Gibraltar. So New Junk City chosen for that map 4. Get ready to get into this lower bracket quarterfinals. Just a reminder, we do have Ex-Oblivion NA taking on Dreamland here at the same time. So that will be on the main broadcast. We will be keeping an eye. Whoops. Probably don't need audio for that at the moment. But we will be keeping an eye on that broadcast. Looks like EXO NA are currently showing us one of this was previously YFP, I believe. You might have seen the YFP name previously for the season. But if you're looking for that match, that will be over on the main stream there, happening at the same time. Of course, these two teams will face off against each other in the semifinals. Oh, you heard Athena. We're initiating a match. It's time to turn down our copyright-free music. Put our camera in a cool spot. Get ready for map 1. Pella and Avidity showing us the Reinhardt here out of the gate. Zeb is going to pull out the Eraser. Okay, Pella does swap off the Rein. Sad face from me. Button played along the outside with the FAR, just looking for a little pressure onto that high ground. And we're going to get the overrun up top there from Pella, but Zeb just drops it and rotates. I think I was looking to chase Ninwai out, and Ninwai just swift step in rest of the group. Ooh, isn't it? Now kind of loop back to their side while the rest of Avidity goes towards the opposite. Nobody's come up with a kill just yet. Pella backing up, and Chronicle break the seal, but it is traded out. Still advantage over here to Citrus Nation as they found that opening pick on the Scoffed. Pella trying to clap back, though, just lands right on Chronic's head. What a beautiful shot. Follow that up. And though first cap did briefly go over to Citrus Nation, Avidity is able to flip it right back under their control. Still, I mean, we continue to go back and forth in the kill feed. Dude dancing around here on the outside. Seems they can bring Scuff down for a second time. Zeb decides the Eraser is not the answer. I'll come back in on the JQ. A speed read fake down the front door as they loop around to the side. I think we're hoping to catch them, catch a disengage through that side, but the Red Avidity don't fall for it. Still traded out. Both Sojourners now down in this fight. Orbital Ray thrown in here from neutral, and Zeb trying to push in. Come on, give me some Zeb pop. Keeping out for Bunny here. Bun, ooh, they're in the back. Up into the window. Looking to strike with this barrage. Couple of directs down into Zeb. A third. Zeb was looking for a Mega, but there's no Mega to be found. Orbital Ray thrown in to help close this fight out. Avidity continue to build percentage, now up to 60 and counting. Doom escaping out of that far side with Bun giving chase. Still with the barrage in the pocket. Only the orbital used out of Avidity during that fight. Neutral having a swap nowhere close to their orbital. Barrage thrown into the cage, and that's going to be a quick pair of kills. Quick death in Oasis. Oh, one with the overclock to take Jacob out of the sky and deny any hope of a cap. Swift first round there for Avidity. They technically give up first cap, but that is the only time Citrus Nation will be able to get percentage on the board. Dominant performance there in round one. Immediate high ground gained here from Avidity. Sticking with the Pharah and the Maga. Headed in here in round two. That's going to be a big overrun from Pella. What was already in position. They've already forced Zeb out of the fight. Citrus Nation now a bit disheveled, although Chronic trying to claw their way back in. Has already picked up one on the wall, providing some crossfire down to that long hallway where the rest of this fight's breaking out. Let's kill on to Doom. Wilt. Give a brief advantage over to Avidity. Still, Citrus Nation get the cap. Where's Chronic? Let's find that pick. I think Chronic came on the outside of Coates. I think one was up on that high ground. Kind of took over that window spot. And I mean, it's a great crossfire. I mean, Avidity's forced right back out. Citrus Nation continuing to build on that. Oh, God, I just get smashed. Interesting position there for Pella is they kind of push back into regroup, converge on the orbital. Chronic never had a chance to pop the ultimate now that it's up. But you know what? We'll have those coming back into this next fight. Able to amass just shy of 50%. Zeb already picked up one, and his button has come off the Zarya, or excuse me, off the far and on over to the Echo. Overclock now tossed in. Grant trying to chase. Oh, chase Wub down. Wub is able to slide through the hallway. I think Pella ducked into that side. Is still kind of hiding in the back line. Zeb and company just can continue to push forward. Have already picked up one. Blade out from Doomed. Now they turn their attention back onto Pella, who was still lurking behind them. A wonderful dismantling of that team fight there from Citrus Nation, recognizing the split up Avidity. Ah! I fat fingered the escape key, sorry. Duplicate onto a brick with the cage fight thrown in there for Pella, but it was double support ults invested from Citrus Nation. They're able to just stand tall through the cage. And Zeb has kept this Rampage in the back pocket for this entire map. As I said that, we're going to drop it in on Bun and Ninwai, both immediately deleted. Don't even have time to say Suzumi or heals. I need dead. Chase the Morgan now at this point. This Pella is just running back and forth across the map. Scuffed is brought down in the hallway as Zeb decides not to chase on that final one. Stays focused there on the squishies. Picking up 3 here to secure that round for Citrus Nation. Good. Citrus Nation going high ground. Avidity going to take stair side. Scuff goes over to a Zenyatta. You know, I mean, discorded that punching power, but oh, so vulnerable. And you can just look how far away Scuff is getting from this battle. The drop down there from Citrus Nation, and they're looking to pursue. Wub has rotated towards that same side. And this very split approach. I mean, just on 4 corners of the map. I mean, it's good enough to find Fur's kill. Bun lurking through the skies. She's already picked up 1, but Wub is dead. The rest of Avidity, oh, you see the rest of Citrus trying to converge onto the Wrecking Ball. Bun will find another one onto Chronic. Not sure exactly how many are left in this fight. It's been so broken. I just see the 2 Citrus players left. Pella just hanging out in the back line. Ooh, that was a swift little move. I like that. I like that. The little swing around, avoided the dash, and then caught the extra damage on the Doom. Now coming in with the pile drive on top. We do get a shout out of Zeb and a kill out of Chronic, indicating a go sign here, the green light for Citrus Nation to move on and find both supports. Well, I'm trying to get the slide away shot in and die on point here for Avidity. So the first fight went in City Center here for Citrus Nation. Still chasing the ball around. Nope. Okay, the protection there onto the back line. Once Pelosi's both supports are back there, they're going and drop the mines. Try to keep Jacob as well as Neutral out of this fight. They are able to kind of work their way through as the blade is invested there from Doom. Still chasing on the supports. It's an NY who falls under the blade of the katana. The slice of the katana, if you would. Citrus Nation are going to match percentage on the back of that fight. They do have a Rampage to work with in this next one, spinning Blade and Rally here. But a couple of DPS ults on the other side, both of which can be quite powerful. Oh, the drop in directly on top of Neutral's head. Doom gets the dash through at the end, but Chronic is able to unload with the second ult. It's still not going to be enough. The both DPS ults, I mean, end up getting one apiece, but the trades are there every step of the way, and now you've got a rally up here from Avidity. And this should just be enough to get this flip. Chronic off the Soldier, now on to a Tracer after using that last overclock. Getting one, but not enough to flip the point. Dropping in over the top. Doom looking for maybe a support, getting a little over anxious there in the back line. That's going to drop in the Rampage. That hit at least two. I'm trying to get what they can there with the overclock, and the purple fades just in time for the Transcendence from Scuffed to tap everybody up, save everybody's life, and Avidity clap back here through the fight. Citrus Nation will get it close to 99, if not there exactly. But we are going to get one final fight to determine who takes map one. Or the aggression from Pella, trying to make it a advantageous fight here for Avidity at the end. Oh, and gets the double hit and the melee. Taking Jacob down. Zeb with no health. Can't get through the choke. Avidity will close it out with the 1-0 lead. Okay, some stats there from map one. Pellets 29 and 3. A few deaths in the lobby, as you would expect with the wrecking ball there in that third round, but was playing right in the thick of things there with Amaga for most of it, at least in the first couple rounds. We saw a little bit of the reset first coming out from Zeb, but then moved over to that JQ for the remainder of the 3 rounds. I mean, it was just like, what, maybe first fight or 2 we saw the Erasa there from Zeb. But pretty much JQ from there on in. Did have fewest deaths on the team. But still, it's close to saying. Like, that one was, you're talking about 99-99 third round fight, and the stats kind of reflect just how even the team fights were. It does look like a few more elims in the hand of Avidity there. They do take the dub, but, I mean, deaths are very close. Backline, I mean, Scuffed only dying 5 times. Definitely the most sturdy of the 4 supports on the battlefield there in map 1. As we get ready for King's Row here. It was Hollywood banned out from Avidity, and this is a Citrus Nation map pick. So zip out on the Arisa here and try to hold. Everybody on high ground. Doom kind of left in hotel. Oh. Yeah, I didn't get the angle I wanted on that. Bun with a couple of shots there off the window and a swap one over to the soldier. That was Wub. Bun is on the far. Once again, very strong pick for. I mean, one of our absolute strongest heroes for sure. At least when I think of Bun. A lot of high ground presence here for Avidity right out of the gate, as Wub has already made their way over into this top corner, or they'll find Doom trying to come up, see if they can clear that off, but there was just nothing doing. Wub was already set, had the reticle in place. Now a full railgun shot will find its way right into neutral. Second pick for Wub here in this opening fight on King's Row. A late kill on the Zed there would be disastrous, but Zeb's able to avoid it. Some nice use of the deflect there out of Doom to help protect their tank through a lot of that damage. Ooh, even gets the deflect onto Pella's energy javelin there. That one lands. Doom went in, I think, trying to see if they could sneak past, pick up, you know, perhaps Wub in the back line there. Maybe Ninwai was inching a little too close through that choke. And Doom just sending him a little love tap. Kind of forced everybody back here a little bit. But that is going to be the ultimates thrown in, namely the orbital ray. And Pella goes spinning forward. Both teams just kind of swap sides. No deaths. But I mean, it's kind of means the defense needs to take this corner back, but the offense can't do anything without control of the objective. So an interesting little catch-22. The Pella runs forward to throw down the terror surge, which here comes the orbital out of neutral. And the attacking Avidity are backpedaling their way through the streets. As Doom has dashed through underneath the skin here. Found a pair. All right, Pella's had enough of that. It's Malka time. Yep, I'll say there goes Doom dashing into the back. That was Terror Surge comboed with it for what ISO would call the Green Goblin combo from Zebit and Doomed. It ends up being a one-for-one trade here. Or even, I mean, just a loss. That's still all 5 players standing from Avidity. And Bud puts 2 more down. Ooh, we're just going to keep on rolling here as we head into the back of the streets. That's Wub's overclock coming in from the attacking Avidity. Immediately removing Chronix from the equation right out of the gate. And Doom dancing around, but I mean, Wub just stays locked in. He's not Not thrown off by all the fancy moves there of the Genji. Still, there's room for a recontest and plenty of ultimates for this defense to work with. So, an aggressive orbital ray thrown in first here from Avidity to try to see if they can set the tempo. Rally and orbital thrown in from this defense as well. Chronic invests that overclock. Ends up being a 2-for-2 trade through all of this lit up mess. Cage fight. Try and close this one. Oh, but Pella's low. Just doesn't have the damage to get it done. And not enough sustain to outlive through both DPS and the tank here on this port. Well, whoop! Picking up a kill on the Zeb. Is there a chance? There's a chance! So you're telling me there's a chance it's Doomed versus Wub left on this point, and they C9 it. Wub pushes it in. 2 points on the board for Avidity. What a team fight. Heroic play out of Wub. And this is a player who kind of acknowledged, we saw before joining Avidity, you know, put out a statement on Twitter basically saying, you know what, I was not the greatest human in the past, I was not the best teammate in the past, but I'm humble now, I want to be better. And Wub joins this team, an expert level team, you know, that they weren't even a Master Division team, and has been such a shining star here, has a great highlight of this squad. Doom pulls out a blader to try to stop this defense. Rampage throw it in the same vein from Zeb, and that will put a halt to this attack out of Avidity. My point still stands on how proud I am of Wub, and what a wonderful impact they have had on this Avidity squad. Now Wub has an overclock, the only ultimate on the table from either team. 2 minutes left in the time bank. I mean, it's anticipating a move to the high ground. There it is. Overclock is popped. Keep an eye on Zeb. Might be able to yank him down with a knife, but no such doing. Wub is able to avoid that, finds a pair, and continues to propel Avidity forward through King's Row. Rounding the final corner necessary here to push in and get the cap. There is going to be time for a recontest. One with an orbital ray available for this defense. But Scuffed has got 15%, you know, almost 20% lead on that. And we've seen Avidity be very aggressive with these ults, you know, the entirety of this map. This one's going to be no difference. Used right on top of Doom's head. No. Oh, and Citrus Nation were just so close. You heard 2 ults at the very end come out, and the voice lines get interrupted by the aliens coming through. We also see a Rampage that was literally 1% away. I mean, Citrus Nation were just 5-10 seconds from, you know, having a nice ult bank with you know, the tools to stop that cart and to hold off a video on that attack. I mean, that was such a knife's edge. And again, it was not the first time we've seen aggressive tendencies there from Avidity, and then, you know, pulling the trigger first, taking the tempo. And it turns out, you know, the very end in that final fight, able to get kills just as ults come online. You know, 2 or 3 seconds, honestly, more, and that defense has a great chance to stabilize. Doom with an immediate move up to that high ground, trying to dislodge Wub. Drops back down after, I think, just kind of forced the back up to the corner. Yep, Wub reappears. The shots are heard from Doom. They jump back up for round 2 up top. Meanwhile, Chronic getting work done down low. Cleanup is good. Solid one and done. Ooh, venture swap from Bun. Oh, big slant, and trying to combine with the emerge from the burrow. Get some extra damage, and they get Zeb pinned to the corner. But Bun cannot escape into some safety of their own. So Chronic finds that kill from the long sightline through main. Still without their tank. Citrus Nation are forced just to kind of hold and pause for a moment. But it's only going to be for a moment. The moment that tank returns, Pella disengages back out. Blade comes in from Doom for the follow-up. Try to see if they can pursue this. Found one support already. Didn't have the dash to go pursue the other. Kind of got caught out on that one, as a matter of fact, and Pella will get the kill. I don't know if that was a boop or something that happened. It looked like Doom kind of lost that second dash and did not get the connection they wanted. Weren't able to close the gap against Scuffed. Now Scuffed has an orbital ray thrown into this point to help this defense from Avidity retake Bookstore. They've got Zeb in an interesting spot, who rampages out of that corner like a caged animal. Ooh, doomed. Deep in enemy territory. Chronic, you know, looking to put pressure on the front as Doomed is looking to draw as much attention as far away from this checkpoint as possible. Still just ends up poking out of the back. Pella comes roaring forward with the overrun, but there's an orbital array on this objective. Tectonic Shock invested from Bun across the point, picks up two. Rally invested from Ninwai as well. And Avidity stops at Trasai. That's Webb's overclock from the defense. Chronic using theirs in that last fight. Zeb cornered, but a nice, textbook disengage, just creating a big horseshoe around the gap, around the choke. That means Webb could not risk sliding all the way in. I mean, it was dangerous enough for Pella to make it happen. Pella actually gets the stomp. The smash kill in to take Jacob out of the fight. Starts the dominoes falling here. 2 minutes and 30 seconds roughly remain for Citrus Nation. Oh, that was a nasty kill. The orbital was a touch late to save Bun. Just couldn't quite get back with the burrow. Cage fight now thrown in here from Avidity. Trying to win up this. Oh, and win it up they shall as Bun finds 2-3 kills in that. And in a 4v5, Bun comes with a beautiful 4K. And turns that thing completely around as the only DPS on the battlefield here for Avidity. Did I mention Shining Star? Whoop. Bun trying to hightail it out of there. Flank's not going to work this time. Instead decided to come that direction. Now, was Shout used? They don't drop. So now speedering up. Here comes the engage from the other side. The rotation around out of Avidity. They're going to chase Citrus Nation all the way up to the catwalk. Plenty of ults here for Citrus to work with as they're going to drop down and flip this point. Turn in the corner, it's Bun in the sights of Zeb. The knife lands, but the burrow just in time. Overclock thrown in from Chronic here to try to push it over the edge, and Pella heads back towards the opposite spawn, but Tectonic Shock was used amidst all that as well. Now we're going to get an attacking orbital ray in here from Citrus Nation. They've managed to corner Pella all the way inside the pub. Ninwai stuck in a similar situation. Nice little rope-a-dope to get back down. Gets the boop on, but the Rampage is still just too much and too good. How many did Zeb hit with that? Was that a 4-player Rampage amidst, like, crazy? It had to be from inside the pub all the way out. One of the coolest Rampages I've seen to date here in Season 3. Woo! Oh. Mr. Kadoa. And the back line making magic happen here for Citrus. I mean, it's kept him in this. It's a 3v3 right now, and so Citrus is able to hold this space. Pella is going to risk it all for the biscuit, try to push out from that mega room. Position themselves in between the front and back line here of Citrus Nation. Heads in and just cage fights the entire crowd. An enormous cage. And the follow-up is just so good. The rally pop by Jacob, it didn't last but a split second. Neutral trying to get the rest of this orbital ray up. Needed it yesterday. Doom's going to go ahead and go in without it. As there's a rally popped in their backline. It's a race for the kills, and Ninwai is chopped down. Taking the rally out of the equation. +2, +3 here for Citrus Nation as the overtime will begin. Bun with the last second kill takes Chronic out of the fight. Means you won't have Chronic setting up on the high ground with, you know, preset sight lines down into these spawns. Chronic have to fight their way back in. That's a mercy swap from Ninwai. We're damage boosting the overclock orbital ray on this point, but won't keep Jacob alive. Extra damage on the back of the shots here out of Wub. Rampage is in though from Zeb to try to swing this 3v3. Overtime fight. I mean, just trying to keep Citrus Nation in this thing. Doom will pick up 2. And this map is drawable here for Citrus Nation. All right, Zeb starting JQ for this defense. Raptor, thank you for the follow. $1.20 for Avidity to find 33%. Move up to match point here in the lower bracket quarterfinals. No safety net here for either of these teams. Citrus Nation really obviously can't afford to give this one up. Otherwise, reverse sweep would be in order to save the season. Chronic so far in a safe position on that high ground. Ends up giving it up to drop back down to main for a few more options and maybe keep a better eye on that flank where Button could push in. Button's still playing it pretty safe here, though, on the front side of Hotel. Opposite side, soft flank from where Pella is. Both converging to the back, but Chronic has already found a kill. Well, out of the fight, 4v5 here for Avidity. Still 30 seconds to play with. Not a lot of percentage for the defense of Citrus Nation to give up, so Zeb and Jacob get aggressive and move in on NY and Bond. Good hold here thus far. Waning time for Avidity to do anything, to take a 2-1 lead. Do anything on this point. Close to ults, but nothing yet. We'll be keeping an eye on Scoff to get that orbital up. Let's not say 9. There we go. There's the touch in from Pella. Bun with a dash up to the high ground. Who's up here? Okay, Doomed up in the window. Bun does not want to give chase. Lets that one go. Drops back down onto the safe side. Ooh, thinks about it. Goes into the back line. Orbital Ray starting to come online. Neutral needs to stay alive long enough to get it. As the offensive Orbital Ray is already in. Terror Surge from Pella is going to find Doom. Now we get the defensive Orbital Ray, but it's a huge stun. NY stun 3 with 1 shield bash, and they all immediately drop on the back of it. Look at all those assists. Avidity, you're on match point. That's map 1 stats. Give me some map 2 stats. There we go. There's some map 2 stats for you. They almost had it. Citrus Nation almost held that one off. Zed 36 elims there, but 39 on the other side. Pella with 3 less deaths as well. That tank head to head. 3k more damage. One that's really standing out to me right here, look at all the assists from Scuffed and NY. You know, I started off this series bragging about this backline, and you can just see how much more they're getting involved. You're totaling 80 assists for that backline versus 55 on the other side. 80 to 55 in assists coming out of your backline. That's just how much more involved Scuffed and NY are getting. Yes, that is a blanket generalization. There's obviously a lot of nuance in Overwatch, but I think that, I mean, if we're just going to take a quick look at some stats and something that's standing out to me right now, those 80 assists are actually looking pretty damn strong. When deaths and elims are so close down the board, damage even, so close down the board. I mean, look at this. I mean, less than 1,000 pretty much separates, you know, your 2 DPS from each other. 3,000 damage between the tanks and 3 elims. Like, that all feels pretty marginal. 80 to 55 assists, that's not marginal. That's your backline getting involved. All right. Take a look at our lineups to see if anything changes headed into map 3. Do we see collegiate champion Kuffa come in? ISU have been absolutely dominant since Kuffa has joined that roster. I haven't seen a whole lot of Kuffa here in this playoffs. All right, it is Runasapi here for map 3. Just a reminder, it was Coliseo banned out from Citrus Nation, making this a Avidity map pick heading into Runasapi. Pella back out here on the Marga. Running towards the jump pad while the other 4 players from Avidity head along the outside. Zeb on the JQ. Looking, use the shot, close the gap, get some quick picks. Unfortunately, they lose Jacob on the rotation. Because it looks like a fairly sloppy rotation along that outside there for Avidity, or for Citrus Nation, rather. And you see just how separated they end up with Doom and Chronic going down there in the back of the fight. You gotta keep the formation a lot tighter when you're rotating around something like that. Oop. Zeb just eating some free damage. It's like, hey, you know what? Let's catch an NY up in that ult charge. Why not? Dope. That was supposed to be Doom Pop. I thought Seb would have been in a lot of trouble there. It seemed like they had all guns pointed their direction. But, I mean, it's Citrus Nation who come up with the early picks as Jacob found first blood. Ends up getting 2 total in that fight. And a great play as Zeb took so much aggro from that. Had everybody looking at Zeb. And I thought for sure they were just toast. I mean, we talk about how, you know, the Junker Queen cannot out-sustain the Maga composition. And it takes the quick picks to flip the fight. Jacob delivers on that, with Zeb sustaining just fine through that one. Now, Pello coming in on a flank through the backside here, with an NY and Bun playing up front. Citrus Nation are going to surge forward with their blade and their orbital ray. See if they can find the 2 up front. And they find Wub. Bun dispelled as well. Here between Chronic and Doom's Genji blade. Dragon blade, technically. Pella doesn't quite get the stomp that they were looking for. There's just some fancy footwork there from Doom. Makes it up the wall, avoids the critical stomp. Make sure there's no trades. They're on the back of the fight. A clean one. They're out of Citrus Nation. They should be able to match percentage on this, or meterage, rather. I don't know. That Margaret Geno comp so fast getting back. Yeah. This could be close. They don't have to make it to the checkpoint to get the lead. But Pella does make it onto the corner to drop the cage fight. Everybody from Citrus Nation just piles into that cage fight using a rally. But I mean, you might as well have not even known the rally was there. So I was looking at Chronic to drop the overclock, but what pulls the trigger first? And once again, it's time and time again, we're seeing Avidity go first in these fights, and it works out well for them. In previous engagements, I guess, they were down in ultimates a lot of the time when they pull the trigger and still win the fight out. This one, they were a little even as far as macro goes. But still, you know, Wub's initiative turns into a fight win. Checkpoint now picked up here from Avidity. Pella backed up inside. I think it was trying to taunt Jacob or anybody to come follow for that matter. Now we're going to get a little bit of a split. Rally on the left side, Pella on the right with the cardiac overdrive. Down one of the fight. Doom is going to pop the blade. Immediately takes down one. Chronic's overclock is able to get one as well. +1 here to Citrus. Oh, no. But trying to bring it back. It is still a 2v1 favoring Citrus Nation. They do win now. Win that out, rather. Watch for Bun just kind of creeping along that lower side. Doom actually is the one that dashes in, catches an NY out Yeah, neutral backing him up there with this orbital ray. Cage fight now thrown in from Pella and Bud with the blade. Oh, and we get a mean combo. That was the blender. Both DPS ults and the cage fight thrown down in from Avidity. Do not want to give up a pivotal fight. They're in halftime as far as time is concerned, right in the middle of the map. One that would have potentially given a checkpoint up over to Citrus Nation. So big investment and still keeping the macro good. Yeah, you're going to have the rally up for Jacob before NY is going to get theirs. But with this orbital from Scuffed, we're still able to push in. Neutral nowhere close to that. That is a great rampage on to 3. Pella down on the inside. Low drops out through the window. 1-for-1 trade. Pella eventually found out. Tried to hide in a little cubby hole. So back and forth, our teams continuing to go. Alternating fight wins, but all the while, TS1 staying here on Citrus Nation's side of the map. Pella and Bud kind of dancing their way down the street to chase this bot, making sure they get the touch. We're going to get a Doom Blade here from the other side, going into the backline while Avidity was making that move. The smart play there out of Doom. Well-timed, well-read. This is going to be good enough for the checkpoint. And Citrus Nation just clawing their way right back into this map, just like that. Back-to-back fight win, something that's been hard to come by here on Renasapi. For either squad, for that matter. Doom just matching Pella along this outside. This positioning so important. Pella's a giant risk here. I mean, you do have Scuff giving follow, but that puts 2 way separated from the rest of the team. Doom recognizes able to win the 1v2 and just dance around and find Scuff. Now Pella is just using the overrun to try to regroup with the other 3. It's gotten a little messy here as a rally is thrown in from NY, and Bun was able to get a kill inside the house. Make that 2 kills for Bun. Talk about winning out a 1v2. Bun comes out with 3 when it's all said and done. Despite losing Scuffed early, Avidity hang on, and, well, I mean, 2 fights in a row is all Citrus Nation's going to get before this bot's headed back towards the other direction. Yeah, now close spawns here means we may get a fight. We'll see if they want to come through the cafeteria. Now, it looks like Citrus Nation are going to go ahead and just meet at this corner. Orbital advantage here for neutral. Playing on this tight quarter. Maybe it can help survive the cage fight. Oh, yeah, bet you throw it right in on top. Can Bun cut through the beam from space? Yeah, neutral, no problem. Diving back in, but Chronic was already dead. Here comes the speed ring chase from Pella and company. Oh, that's a critical stomp. The overrun is the end of Jacob. Zeb returning with a rampage here. You can see all the DPS set up in that room. Doom actually pulls out the blade first. I love that. It makes sense. I mean, the blade does come up quicker than Rampage does. You know, particularly the way Doom plays. There's a little ghost dash action for you. That was fun. Do the games be gaming? The games have been gaming. This one has been much better. Citrus Nation are down 0-2, but they have the lead. Well, excuse me. They have the bot. And Zeb, well, gets 2 with the Rampage. Doom is the only one holding down Cart. Okay, there comes Chronic back to touch the bot. That was looking dangerously close to a disastrous end for the Citrus Nation season. But they've already got checkpoint here. There's going to be no hesitation on this bot. One fight to win. Rally and overclock to make it happen. You've got an ult advantage on the other side. Let's see if Citrus Nation can overcome. They're definitely fighting an uphill battle here to try to force a map forward and keep their season alive. That's going to be the orbital ray thrown on the inside. Doom was able to proc that out a little bit early in this fight, but Zeb goes down, gets caught on the stairs. Rally in from Ninwai as well. Chronic does have this overclock into play. Got one, but that's not going to be enough. Now the rally from Jacob. The last-ditch effort. You've gotten Ninwai with it. You still have a neutral up on the high ground, and it's just a matter of sustain here. Can Doom put in enough work as the only DPS? Not before Button returns. Neutral is down. Both Dragon Blades are out. And the 2-for-1 trade will favor Avidity as they close out the series at a 3-0. They will move on to your lower bracket semifinals. And Bud, the mischievous fox. My queen. This is your queen. Oh, wrong one. All right, there we go. There's some stats for you. There's some stats. Bun and Pella both at 29 and 8. Both right at 10.5k damage. Look how even the damage was down the board here for these three. When you have like 400 damage separates 3 of your players, like that's teamwork. Huge congrats to Avidity. I mean, once again, their first season here in Masters, their debut in the toughest division in FACEIT League. And they are moving on to top 4. Finished the season with an 8-3 record, tied with Citrus Nation for 3rd place. Both coming in with the exact same records. Avidity able to beat Citrus Nation twice now. Once in regular season, now here again in the playoffs, both in a 3-0. And I think that is firmly secures, Avidity in my mind as a top team here in NA Master. Let's get that 3rd point on the board for him. Well earned. I mean, this was the closest 3-0 we have had all day. It has been a day of 3 Overwatch. This was by far the closest. I mean, look at the deaths down the board, right? I mean, you're looking, Doomed and Neutral died less than anybody on Avidity. Let's back it up to Kings. We're talking about a 4-3 Kings that Citrus Nation almost pulled out the draw. Once again, look at our deaths. Now, Avidity had a few less deaths on this one. Citrus Nation leading in deaths on that one. But, I mean, super, super close. And then let's not forget, you're 99-99 round 3 Oasis. Where, Pella goes to a Wrecking Ball and, is basically unkillable on the Wrecking Ball. You just get them low, they pop adaptive shields and roll the hell out. So, like, that doesn't look good for Citrus Nation. But I assure you, this map was down to the wire. The damage very indicative on this one. So, I mean, a very, very close 3-0. 100% a very close 3-0. And I know it's a disappointing end for Citrus Nation. I know they would have much rather finished top 4 than top 6. But, I mean, a great season nevertheless. I love this squad. I can't wait to see more out of the squad. I hope we get to see more out of the squad heading into 2025.